course. Well, I'm glad that that's over for you. No, it wasn't very pleasant, but at least you're done with that. How am I? Well, you're not going to believe what's happened to me. Now I know it sounds silly, but they want me to teach a course on rock and roll. Yes, rock and roll. I know. What do I know about rock and roll? Anyway, I hate that crap. And yes, I feel that strongly. No, I can't refuse. In just 6 months, I'm up for tenure. They really have me over a barrel. It's gonna take so much of my time. Well, what can I do? Me too, I'm running a little late. You never know what the gods of traffic will bring. Yes, dinner sounds good, and a good stiff drink. Okay, see you at Tommy's. Enough of that trash in the culture. Now I have to waste my time with it too. I can't just say nothing. Hey Siri, take a memo. Dear Mr. Chairman, we have our students for such a short time, but instead of exposing them to Mozart, to Beethoven and Bach and other glories of our art, you would have us waste our time on screamers, foul-mouthed punks and sluts, so-called artists who, despite their privileged lives, pretend they have a reason to sing the blues. It's mindless, it's vulgar, it's mean, it's fake, ginned-up emotion that's peddled to kids, adrenaline rushes and pheromone discharge, music designed to line the pockets of sleazy businessmen whose only concern is getting their grubby hands on piles and piles and piles of teenage cash. And you would have us become their pimps. Maybe that's a bit too strong. Hey Siri, schedule a meeting. Tell me, Mr. Chairman, what serious purpose will be served by a class on rock and roll? And he'd say, you know, the music department is paid by attendance. A class on rock and roll attracts a lot of students. It pays a lot of bills. Can the chairman tell me, why is it always about the money? And he'd say, sure I can, but I'm surprised that you'd ask. You know where we live. And he'd be right. I want to keep my job. I want to get tenure. Yes, he'll say, if you help us now, it will boost your career. I want to keep my job. I want to get tenure. But how can I tell my students the truth? Shall I have them sit in the mud and take LSD so that they can know what it was like to be at Woodstock? Extra credit if they get themselves hospitalized, taking ecstasy at some rave. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rock and Roll 101. What do I know about rock and roll? Well, I came from a place where dangerous kids in dangerous cars went thump-a-thump-a-thumping down the street. And my classy mom would pinch my ear, blow cigarette smoke into my face and say, stay away from those bad kids you hear. Now go get your mother another beer. Then Then my dad would come home drunk from the bar with his creepy friend Bobby, who would put me on his knee while my mother wiggled her ass in front of my dad. Bobby put his hands in my pockets, he bounced me up and down, he screamed into my face, I can't get no, I can't get no. And I would cry and my mother would stop and bawl out Bobby, and my father would swear and crank up the music, and he'd have another beer, he'd crank it up some more till it hurt my ears. My father would roar, my mother would howl, and the music would pound in my head, and doors would slam and glasses would break, and I ran to my room, but no matter how tightly, deeply I would bury my head in my pillow, I never could smother that wailing, screaming, pulsing, throbbing, war-zone hurricane, pounding, 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 pounding sound. And school was my refuge from the ashtrays and the empties. And that's what I know about rock and roll. Oh, look at the time.